Like, she got what she deserved, I guess. Oh, hey. You really made yourself comfortable, huh?
Hope you don't mind I let myself in.
I do, actually.
Now, are you gonna hold up your end and release Yui Mamiya?
I don't know, I'd rather kill her.
Come on. You and I can either try to make this work, or neither of us is gonna get what we want. So, you gonna make the call or what?
Hello? Yagami-san?
I'm with Kuwana. You can let Mamiya-san go.
Got it. Will do.
Sorry about all this, Yagami. Why don't you sit down? Maybe it's time you and I had a heart-to-heart. How's Kaito holding up?
Kaito-san's recovering in the hospital. For now. Sawa-sensei is another story, though.
I can hardly believe it. She was the last person I wanted to get mixed up in all this shit.
Yeah, bull
If
crap.
that's the case, why were you already waiting in her apartment? RK's top men were lying in wait over there to get their hands on you. So why was she the one lying on the ground? Answer me, Kuwana. Was it because of you?
Would you feel better if it was?
How dare you?
You're thinking that if you hadn't stuck your nose in her affairs, she might be at home grading her papers right now. You tell me. Is that what's eating away at you right now? Because if it is, you're mistaken. That guilt is mine alone to bear. It's my burden to carry. When I saw on the news that she had been murdered in cold blood, it felt like the whole world had stopped spinning to me. I would take it all back right now if I could. But unfortunately, to fix this, I'd need to turn the clock back further than you'd think.
You mean back to when you were a school teacher?
Yeah,
Time travel?
basically. Back to when I still had a little faith in humanity. Seeing someone's life get cut short, you never really bounce back from it, do you? But I don't have to tell you that. I did my homework on you, Yagami. It seems you were a fairly accomplished lawyer. You even scored a murder acquittal. But we both know how that ended. The death of an innocent young woman.
This is like the first time they brought up the events of Judgment, by the way. Like,
You and I are the same.
no, we're not.
We both have scars. And they're the type of scars that never fully heal.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
But for Sawa-kun, it was 13 years ago. The very day before Mitsuru Kusamoto jumped, she stopped me in the hall so she could tell me about how serious the bullying really was. Up until that day, I just assumed it was boys being boys, teasing. I figured it was harmless, that they'd get bored with it, and then they'd move on. I mean, come on. Kawai had to have been twice the size of Mitsuru. It's not like I'd seen any fighting, so I warned him not to overdo it. And eventually he would take the hint.
Well, according to what I was told, you smirked, actually.
Yeah, I guess that's what I did. Now it's too late. Sawa-kun had to point it out. Sensei, how could you be so blind, she asked. Her eyes were this piercing mix of pity and scorn. According to what she told me, nearly half the class was bullying Mitsuru. She said she'd seen him at the station. She made it sound like he had half a mind to jump onto the tracks right then and there. I'm not so presumptuous anymore. But back then, I used to think my students were my biggest fans. I thought I'd won their hearts and minds. But the look on Sawa-kun's face that day made me see the truth. I couldn't just go on smiling like nothing happened. So I decided to do my homework. The next day, I put a hidden camera in the classroom after school.
So that's when we got the bullying video. He had said, obviously, Yagami, please, I need you to not be stupid for like 5 seconds.
So you admit that you're the one who recorded that video?
Yeah. You saw it, right? Talk about the ugly side of kids. Hard to watch, wasn't it? Unfortunately, by the time I picked up the camera and saw what it recorded, Mitsuru had made his
But like,
jump.
did he really think that Kuwana was just
I missed
standing
him.
there?
By a few crucial moments.
Can you imagine if Kuwana was just in the room recording it from his
What happened in
phone?
that classroom was the final straw. Later on, all the bullies were asked what happened. Each and every one of them lied.
Obviously.
Kawhi started it. It wasn't our idea, they said. To anyone outside of it, all they'd seen was Kawhi forcing Mitsuru to do his bidding. So the people held culpable were Kawhi and myself. The callous homeroom teacher who deliberately turned a blind eye. That was the day I began living my life with real purpose.
So you couldn't forgive your students who got away with bullying. You went so far. You put aside your own life to make sure they atoned somehow.
That's right. Mitsuru Kusumoto's still a vegetable. He's as good as dead. But I don't care. We have no right to forget about him.
You say that, even though Sawa-sensei ended up paying for it. I'll ask you again. Why were you at her apartment the other day? Don't dodge the question this time.
I wouldn't say I dodged it. But I suppose I should explain from the beginning.
Yeah, that helps.
4 years ago, there was a suicide at Sawa-kun's school. It was her own student this time. You know this, right? A student at Seiryo High School? Toshiro Ehara.
Yeah.
When she was in court, Sawa-kun had no choice but to say there wasn't any bullying. Soon as she told me that, I knew Hiro Mikoshiba would be my next target. Of course, she had no idea about any of that. When Sawa-kun learned Mikoshiba had been murdered, though, she reached out to me herself.
What did she want?
She had a sneaking suspicion that I was involved in his death. She called me a few times, prodding carefully for answers. Quite the perceptive lady, really.
And? What kind of answers did you give her?
I denied any knowledge of it, but at one point, she mentioned something kind of odd. That there was a detective at the school already investigating the incident.
Huh?
She meant you, of course. A detective already knee-deep into the case, despite the police barely even knowing about Mikoshiba.
So Sawa-sensei was the one who told Kuwana I'd show up at her school.
The police are a pain in the ass, but when an out-of-town detective comes sniffing around, that's bad. I knew I had to act fast to get you off the trail. Although, Sawa-kun was a problem too. I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone.
And then what?
First, I found out where the two of you would be meeting up, at that little cafe. Then, I hired the Liumang to step in. But you put up one hell of a fight. They had strength in numbers, but you would have taken out the whole group if I hadn't stepped in. Nonetheless, my other message went through. At the same time, Sawa-kun was handed a photo of Mikoshiba's final moments. I left that task to someone you know. Yue Mamiya. They hadn't seen each other in 13 years. Sawa-kun had no idea.
She disguised herself.
The lady in the sunglasses. Yui Mamiya was involved in that too?
Not surprising.
Everything I did that night was intended as a warning to Sawa-kun. Although, I guess I didn't have to be so extreme about it.
Yeah. Sawa-sensei was too smart. She must have started suspecting that you'd had something to do with Mikoshiba's murder. After all, who else could have known we'd be meeting at that cafe? She'd have traced it right back to you.
Isn't that where we first
Even
met
if
you?
Sawa-kun had started to suspect me, I knew she wouldn't sell me out to the cops. were too alike. The both of us lost students to suicide on our watch. That said, I couldn't bear the thought of dragging her down into the mess I started, so I scared her off, and I thought she would stay away. The day she was killed, she called to ask if we could speak in person. I could tell something was wrong. She was on the verge of tears the whole call. Then she broke down. I asked her why, of course, but she wouldn't give me a straight answer no matter how I tried to phrase the question.
So then what? Did you just waltz on over there? It doesn't seem like you.
Watch it. You don't know me well enough to say that.
Maybe. But I assume you had some sort of plan going in. Were you gonna confess to her?
Here's the thing. If she'd figured out that I was behind Mikoshiba, and it didn't sit well with her, I would have told her every last detail. Sawakun, no. I think she would have understood me. Or at least that's what I had believed. In hindsight, I think she was forced to make that call. Under normal circumstances, I'm sure she'd have rather washed her hands of me. Hard as it is to hear, I think she called me under duress. RK probably had her hostage. That would explain the vague responses. That's probably why her voice was trembling. It's tragic.
You mean it was RK? Why do they want you so badly anyway?
I don't know.
What?
If I knew their angle, I'd be doing more than just scurrying around.
You serious?
Believe me, I'm just as clueless as you are, much as I hate to admit it. Honest, I'm not thrilled that a small army wants my head on a platter. Have you noticed how RK seems to show up at the worst possible times? Someone must be pulling their strings.
Then we're on the same page. At least we agree on something.
Just a sec. Yeah. I'm still over here with Yagami-san. You're not being tailed by any of his guys, are you? Okay. Then I'll meet you right now. That was Mamiya-kun. She said she's free. You guys have been true to your word. Tell Sugiura-kun that I said thank you.
Now you want to go? We still have some business to settle here.
Now remember, I'm the handyman here. Let me do the dirty work. I don't know what else to tell you, but you need to get out while you still can.
This is my agency.
If you disappear into the night, I don't want to go busting my ass just to find you again. Before you leave, I'll need some contact info. A phone number would be nice.
Oh, no need for that. As far as I'm concerned, this is goodbye.
I wouldn't count on that.
It's not that. Okay, you tell him. Okay.
Hold up.
This is a little less stupid. The stuff with Kuwana here and poor Sawa and everything. Oh, come back here, you idiot. No, I really don't. Although I wish I was doing anything else because Chapter 9 has been pretty trash. In fact, this is like the worst, I'm gonna say it again, this is the worst chapter in any Judgment game. Also, I love it how this game barely acknowledges, it tries to like sidestep the original game a lot. Like, the closest it's been, like that one time they brought up Terasawa, Sugiura's sister. But they do so little to tie these games in together. Like, the only the only real, like, oh, this is a sequel to Judgment is because it's like the same characters. And like when the character appears, they're like, oh, this character helped me during the first game, etc. Like, it's weird, like, I don't know. This game feels so isolated from its prequel. Like, more than it should. That was bad. I don't have anything else to do.
Hold up.
Like, if not for the fact that it's obviously a sequel and the characters appear, then, like, part of me would think, like, this isn't even, like, a direct sequel, because I feel like it does little to actually, like, use the first game to build on its foundation. It feels like, it's not standalone, but, like, it doesn't feel as connected as it could, if that makes sense. It feels like they're, like, trying to ignore the prequel in a way and, like, not bring it up to, like, build on this one, which is what a sequel should do.
Catch you later. God damn it.
Get back here, Kuwana.
Get back here.
We'd be done with this chapter. This chapter sucks.
What the?
Oh, is this the
Where'd he go?
ADVC parking lot?
Kuwana!
You guys again. You really need the masks? Come on, Kurakawa kids.
You heard that, right? The detective here already knows everything.
Kuwana!
What are you going to do now? What do you think happens when he spills everything? Sounds like your lives are over, unless you shut him up.
Oh, you were so hateable.
But Sensei, you'll finish the job for us, right?
No.
Huh? Is that you, Akaike?
Oh, he's even got a name to your voice.
Answer me, Sensei!
I know. I'll be the one to finish it. You just knock him out.
Okay then. Time to learn your lesson!
Come on. What kind of lesson is this?
I'll tell you what I do like, because I think it's interesting that they're trying to make Kuwana, like, Kuwana's in the wrong no matter what way you cut it. It's kind of like in the first Judgment, right? Like, Hamura redeemed himself at the end. But then, like, characters like Shintani and, like, the villains in Judgment 1 were so, like, hateable, and you could never, like, condone with their methods, but they at least tried to give them a reason for what they're doing. And in a way, they're kind of doing that with Kuwana, and I'm like, yeah, okay. He wants to, like, execute bullies, and he's like, he made that connection with Sawa Sensei and everything. Now, obviously, he's in the wrong, and there's no way I'd agree with Kuwana's methods, similar to the first Judgment. And obviously, like, him pulling the strings and controlling these guys is, like, it's terrible. But also, at the same time, it's also trying to make me want to help these people, the accomplices that bullied Mitsuru.
Kuwana? Oh no, Kuwana!
Like, it feels like the game wants me to feel bad for them. Like, oh, they're under Kuwana's thumb and they're doing what he wants and you want to, like, save them. But they're terrible people too. And they haven't given me one good reason why they did it in the first place. So, oh, is she gonna stab him? Oh, she's gonna.
Really? So nice of you to stick around. Bamiya-san.
Oh, come on, did you think that would work?
Well, since Kuwana couldn't stay, sounds like you're not out of the woods just yet, huh?
They wouldn't. They wouldn't have me beat up a woman in this video game, would they? That was garbage. That chapter sucked. That was a load of nonsense. Like, that's the worst chapter in all of Judgment. That was stupid.
13 years in the past.
The Kuwana's
Kuwana's
motives are, like, fine, and I think it could be pretty neat. You know, like, again, like, I think they're doing pretty alright with him. It depends how they do with the rest of the game, but
Kuwana sets off on a path of vengeance. And the bullies he drags with him are shackled.
This whole, like, the
in
bullies
shadows.
being shackled or whatever is stupid.
However, Yoko
But I guess it's
Sawa's
not stupid,
murder
but, like,
serves
the
as
game
a
is
deadly
trying so
wake-up
hard to make me,
call
like,
to
care
what
about
he's
them and, like,
done.
want to help them. And like it's just so stupid because like they're terrible people. Catch a tiger. That's me. I have the tiger style. That was a garbage chapter. I hope the rest of the game isn't garbage. Because I don't think there was a single bad chapter in Judgment, and man, that was terrible. Like, when Mamiya was, like, explaining everything, I was just like, wow, this is poorly written.
What are you doing?
Getting your identification on record, so you won't be a threat to us anymore.
Also, I know, like, don't hit women, but I think
you owe us after everything you've done. Expect me to come collect one of these days.
Anyway, I know beating up women's, like, illegal, but, like, come on. I think I have a reason to beat up Mamiya.
Carriage awaits, Mamiya-san.
I don't like her.
Don't tell me we're going back to that dingy arcade.
We sure are. But try not to hold a grudge. It wasn't us who abandoned you.